Okay, it's 8 o'clock. We'll get started, okay? Any questions so far?
No.
No? Okay, so we'll continue to chapter 15, ArrayList. So chapter 14, we are on array, right? Right now we go into the unit 4, and unit 4 is for data structure, data collection, okay? So it's data collection. So first data collection we talk about is array. Now we talk about ArrayList. And then third one, we also will talk about two-dimensional array. So basically these three are linear, we call it linear data structure. Okay, they are nonlinear one, like tree or some other data structure that's not covered in this level 1 course. So the purpose of the level 1 AP, this AP CSA, it pretty much cover the program structures. So program structure means that you will learn the basic loop and the basic algorithm, simple algorithm for one-dimensional, for linear. These are what you learn in APCSA. And in APCSB, you will cover object-oriented programming. And more data collection. So in the old day, actually, before 2009, there is a AP CSA course. There is another one called AP CSAB course. So this AP course including everything. And then 2009 dropped the AP course. They only have A, and A actually cover up to right here, up to OOP. But recently, the main OOP being dropped as well. So now, this APCSA only have 1 semester material. But what we will do is that after this CSA course, we'll move on to the CSB course as well. Okay, we'll cover this one from November to February next year. Okay, that's our goal. Some high school like Saratoga High in Bay Area, or maybe Harker, they do cover the AB version as well. Okay, or maybe Palo Alto High, they're still teaching the AB version, so more difficult than what needed for the high school. Okay, anyway, this is just covering the topics. So we finished the array and array. Okay, array. An array is actually, they call it homogeneous. Data collection. That means the data is of the same type being collected together, okay? And then today we are going to cover another one called ArrayList. This one is also homogeneous, okay? Also homogeneous. Data of the same type being put together. So this is what we will cover today. We get started for the ArrayList. Let me post it in the group for the slices. Okay, now let's go back and now let me clean it again. So before we go into this array and ArrayList, let's talk about two things. First thing we would like to talk about is the data structure. Okay, the data structure is defined as the organization of your data. Okay, that's very simple. So your data maybe is an array, maybe is a tree. So basically, you may have a tree. You may have a graph. You may have an array. Okay, this data's organization, data structure, data's organization, we call it data structure. Okay. So array is one kind of data structure. It basically is a collection of data. You put in things together and in continuous edges. Okay, we call it array. So you put the things one by one in a linear format. We call it data array. Okay. Now, another concept is not data structure. Another concept we call it abstract data types. So abstract data type is not data structure. Or you can think about it as a data structure, but it's actually different. It's more conceptual. Okay, it's more conceptual. So today we will talk about ArrayList, but before we go into that, let's talk about list. So list is one kind of the abstract data type, ADT. Okay, abstract data type. So list by itself is abstract. So array is data structure. So data structure, you can see something one by one in the boxes. You have continuous data, you actually put them, and then you have the index 0, 1, 2, whatever. And you put your data into there. Okay, this is called array. So what is list then? Okay, this is actually, just by the English definition, is actually is a listing or a collection of data. But this list, you can add something into it, you can delete something into it, but array you cannot. Array is the fixed boxes. And list, you actually can add something into it, or you can remove it, something into it. So let's assume that we have high school, you have the honor roll list. So anyone GPA actually is 3.5 plus. We call it the honor roll list. So your school will select an honor roll student, and that is a list, because how many people will get honor roll? We don't know. Every year can be different. Okay. Every year, the number of students that will get the honor roll can be different. Okay. Every year, the number of honor roll students can be different. Let's actually think about another one. So some student will get dean's list. That would be GPA 3.8 plus will get a dean's list. So some student would actually promote it from honor roll to dean list. Some would drop from dean list to honor roll. Some would drop out of the honor roll to regular student. Okay. So a list is a collection of data, and the length of the data is actually can be changing, can be flexible. But array is not. Array is not a fixed. It's not a flexible length list. So conceptually they are different. Conceptually they are different. So here we say list is a ADT. It's a abstract data type. It's a concept. It's actually you can draw some graph for it. While data array is a data structure. It's an organization of your data. Your data actually lists down in one-dimensional structure, one by one, and each one has its own address. We call it index. So that's the difference between your array and the list. Okay, that's the difference between this. One is a data structure. One is a abstract data type. Abstract data type means the concept. Okay, there are some other abstract data types. So we are not covering it in APCSA, but in the CSB, we will cover it. That is the step. Step is first in, last out. You put the data in and then you pop it out. Okay, this actually we call it step. Or buffer. You push data in this way, pop out this way. This is actually called queue. Okay, it's called queue. So you may have step, you may have a queue. These are different conceptual data structure, or we call it ADT, object data type. Okay, this we will cover in the APCSB course, but not right now. So let's go back to the list. So, but this right here, I just give you more example of different object data type. Now we do have this kind of a data structure, we call it list. So for those of you actually study Python, you will know that the Python also have a list. So Python's list using the bracket, you may have a string, you may have a letter, you may have a object. You may put another list in there. This one is a Python list. Okay, so Python list is heterogeneous. So it actually mixes data type. Okay, it can be a number, can be a string, can be a object, can be another list. It's a mixed data type, it's Python list. But Java's list is single data type. So you can only put same data type into layer. That's called Java list. It's a single data type. Okay, that's the main difference between Python list and Java list. So Java list, you can have some data followed by another data, followed by another data, followed by another data. Let's assume this you have a 3, 4, 1, 7, and you have this list. And then you can add one more data to the end. Let's assume that you put A there. You can delete one. So you bypass that, you actually can bypass the data of one. You can also insert another one, put it in the list, in the middle of somewhere. So that is the list. But all of these, if you use an array, you cannot do it in array. Okay, array actually is a fixed size. You cannot do it. You have to create a new array or doing something extra to mimic the performance of a list. But list right now conceptually is something that you can add data to it and delete data from it. And also you can make it longer or shorter. Any questions so far?
No.
But under one limitation is like Python's list have to Java's list have to be single data of the same type. While Python, you can put whatever type you want. Okay, that's the main difference. Okay, so these are lists. So array is a fixed size. Array is a fixed size data. And then your list is flexible size. You can put data after data, you can insert, you can delete. So we call list, it actually is ADT. We call the array as data structure. Okay, so these two conceptually are different. But today we are going to talk about this new data type that's called ArrayList. So what is ArrayList? ArrayList by itself is a list. It's a list made of array. So ArrayList is made of array. So basically you use, let's see, you use array to make an array list. Now we call it array list. Is that okay so far?
Yes.
So in principle, array list is also a array. Its data structure is array, but conceptually it is used like a list. Okay, that's what it is. So we will talk about how this can be done and how to use them. Okay, but conceptually you need to first know about list. Is actually a flexible length. Array is of these. Okay, so you actually, when you do this, when you create a new array list, you say that array list of integer, okay, a list equals new lowercase, okay. So right here, this whole thing is the data type. The data type is array list of integer. This is one data type. So this one is the class name as well. So you put a parenthesis, it becomes a constructor. So you call this constructor to build an array list. And the address being stored into this reference variable a list. Okay, that's what this one is. So array list of integer is one kind of the data type. It's array list data type. Okay. And right here, we do have a integer. This integer can be replaced by string, can be replaced by double or different type. Okay, so this one we call it type variable. That means you can assign different type to the array list. Okay, so basically array list is a container. You can put different things into the array list. And then when you put the integer there, it's called array list of integer. But the integer is a type variable. Type variable means that you can assign different type to it. It can be integer, can be double, can be anything that is reference type. Is that okay so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that actually is what it is, and then you create it. Okay, so this is a basic idea of how to create an array. So let's look at the code, okay? Okay, now we back to the project. So let's get started for the basic array list. So to use array list, you must use import java.util.arraylist. You must put this, okay? You put a star, okay, but you have to use this. Otherwise, you don't have the class to use. Okay, you can declare array list of integer a list up to here. Okay, let's do this. And then this one we call it declaration. And then you print it right away. So you do not use the constructor. In this case, I'm sorry, this one. It doesn't allow it. You need to initialize it. That's why I put the new one into there. Okay, so basically this one is a pointer pointing to nowhere. Just like when we use array or we use a string, you initially assign a null pointer to it. It is a pointer, but it's pointing to nowhere. And is there a ArrayList object? No, there's no ArrayList object, nothing there. Let me run it one more time, okay? We print it. Okay, so print out null, okay? So basically this is what it is. At this moment, this A list is available holding null. So it's actually, we call it grounded. It's not pointing to anywhere. So it's a pointer, but pointing to nowhere, nobody associated with it. Just like you assign a empty array list, array or a string, you actually assign a null pointer to it. Okay, after that, you can do a list equals new array list of integer. So once you right side, you use a new, that means you will create an object in the heap. Okay, and then your A list is pointing to there. But at this moment, there's no element in the A list object yet. So no element, no data. So at this moment, when you print it out, it will give you an empty list. So you give you an empty list. This one different from array. Array, you have to use a array that toString of the array to print it. Okay, right here you don't, because array list by itself has its own toString function. You don't need to actually use the array as that toString. Okay, any questions so far? So this
No.
is this is the same as you do run this toString function if you like, but that's not necessary. That is not necessary. Okay, you get the same thing. So basically, this one you don't need this one. Okay, let me comment it out. Let's actually copy it. So both of them, you actually have a two string or no two string, they will print out the same thing. Okay, at this moment, you create a object of the array list, but no data being put into there. This one we call it instantiation. You actually create a array list instance. Now, next one, you are going to put data into there. So you actually do a list dot add one, a list dot add two, a list dot add three. You add data into it, and then you print out the a list now. So now you add one, add two, add three, you actually get 1, 2, 3. Okay, you get 3 data. Now, if you continue to do it, you will add the data to the end. So the first function we talk about is add function. Okay, add function. So basically, you create one and then add a 2 behind it, add a 3 behind it, and then add a 4 after it. This is how to make this list one by one, okay? So that actually is array list, okay? It's array list. The first function we talk about is add function. Add function is adding data to the tail, okay? Now, this one's adding data, okay? The next one is that we do have 1, 2, 3, 4. How about if I want to add a 5 in between 1 and 2? I want to put a 5 over here. Then you need to know about the insertion location. In the array, we talk about it. Here you have 4 elements. There are 5 insertion locations. This is insertion location 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So your 5 will be added into insertion location 1. So what you want to do is actually do a list that add 1 with 5. And you print out the array list again. Okay, any questions so far?
No.
That's adding the data to a arbitrary location. This one is the index. This one's the data. Okay, you put the index 1 location with the data of 5. Now you do have 1, 5, 2, 3, 4. Now I want to delete 3. I want to delete 3. So I actually calculate the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to remove this one. That's actually do a list that remove 3. So 3 is the data, but 3 also is the index. So this one remove 3 is remove index 3. It's not remove the data 3. Even though right now 3 is the same, It's both the data is also the index. So 0, 1, 2, 3, we remove this index 3 element. Okay, remove the index 3. So let's actually do one more. Let's actually do ArrayList remove. Oh, I want to remove the number 4. But right now, this one will create trouble because it's not remove number 4. Right now, your data is 1, 5, 2, 4. Index 0, 1, 2, 3. Your index 4 has no data. So this one will cause index out of bound problem. Because your index 4, there is no data that you can remove. So that actually, let's run it. You do got a red ink exception. Index out of bound is okay because there's no index 4 right here. There's no data there. Any question?
No.
But then how to remove I want to remove the data 4. How can I do it? How can I remove the data 4? I just want to remove 4. I don't care where the index is. In that situation, you have to do this. You need to remove a object. This object is a new integer 4. You create object of 4 using this object to compare with the 4 in the array list. When there is a match, it will be deleted. So this one is not removing index. This one is removing the content of 4. This one is removing the index. That's two are different. Is that okay so far?
Does it remove the first occurrence only? Or all of it?
You will remove the first occurrence. You will remove everyone, I think. Let's do experiment, you will figure out. Okay, let's actually try to. You remove everyone. Okay. Oh, you actually only remove the first occurrence. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So only the first occurrence. I think if you want to remove everyone, you need to use a while loop or for loop to remove it. Okay, one by one. There is another one called remove all, but remove all is to remove the whole sublist from it. Okay, that's actually a different story. Okay, let's don't go to there yet. Okay. So this one is remove contents and remove index. Okay. Remove 3 is remove contents. Remove index. Remove new integer 4 is remove contents. But you remove only the first occurrence. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Next one is there is a clear function. If you want to reset your array list, you can use clear. Then you will go back to the empty status. Everything will be clean. It will actually become not null, but it will become an empty list. It's a list of no data. Okay. Let's go clear function. And the next one is let's actually add more data into there. Let's have the A list that A list that A list that three. That's okay. Now we go back to 1 to 3. Now, if you want to update this number 2, let's update it with 5. So the index here is 0, 1, 2. So you need to update the index 1 location. So you will use this. You will use A list that set 1 with 5. Then you will actually update it. That's the set function. So 2 got replaced by 5. It's okay so far?
Yes.
One more thing right here, you may actually have an integer s equal this. And then that's the return data from the set function. So you print out the set. Print out your s. So s is the data that you replaced. You originally have 1, 2, 3. This one changed with 5, but the replaced data being taken out to s. Okay? Any question?
No.
No.
So let's actually also go back to here to the remove function, the same thing. Here you can do integer equal this. So at the same time, you also print out your R. The data you replace is also being returned from the remove function. This actually sometimes is useful. It is a side effect, but sometimes useful. You can take out those return value. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So basically, when they do add, let's assume you have 1, 2, 3. When they do add, they have to make the array list longer and put a 4 there. Okay. Or when they do add, let's assume that you do have 1, 2, 3, 4. You add a 5 here. You actually copy 1 to here, put a 5 here, and then copy 2, 3, 4 to here, just like your insertion in array. So in a way, the performance of the array list in terms of speed is the same as array. It is not faster. You buy convenience only for more function. In terms of how fast the program runs, it is the same because by the nature, it is a array list is a list made of array. So when Java machine implement it, it is an array. It is not a list. There's no such thing. There's no such data structure as list, only array. Okay, only array. So it's a make of array. There's another type of the list, we call it linked list. There's another type of list we call it linked list. Okay, we don't cover it right now, okay, but what I want to say is this linked list is a list made of linked nodes. So it's of different data structure. But conceptually, it works just like your array list, similar. Conceptually, it's similar. So here, let's change it to star. Then linked list will be allowed. I just give you this example so far. We are not going to go in chase down to the linked list. We just want to show you that this is list made of linked nodes. Okay, that's a different type of the list. We do have other type of list. So here, when you have two words, array list is a list made of array. There's also a array DQ, double NQ. This is the DQ made of array. Okay, so this is conceptual idea. This one is a data structure. Okay, but performance-wise, array list is an array. Array data is same as array. It's just acting like a list, but it's in reality, it's actually an array. So performance-wise, no difference or no improvement from array to array list. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Let's continue. Let's actually go back to the slices. Okay, we'll go through the slices for the basic part. So this basic array list is actually one of the more very important topic in AP ComSci. Okay, and in fact, next year when you take the AP exam, the Q3 of the programming, it will be fixed on array list. In the past, the Q3 is either array or array list. Now array being taken away, it only tests you on array list. So this array list become extremely important. At least one FRQ problem will be coming out of this array list. So you must know about how to do array list traversal methods and its use. Okay, very important. That's the purpose of this chapter. So first we talk about what is list. Okay, this is a conceptual, it's an abstract data type. And what is array list? Array list is an implementation of the list. It is a list made of array. Okay, and then array list can put a different kind of object into there. Okay, so it is not okay to do this. You cannot do array list of int type. This is not okay. This you cannot use integer, must be an object or reference type. Okay? Any questions so far?
No.
So we talk about the declaration, instantiation, and initialization. We also talk about type variable. Okay, so far. So we are going to we already covered some of the methods. And then we will go into the basic operation for the array list. Okay, that's the purpose of today's talk. So first thing is, okay, list. So this is an interface. This interface no longer tested in AP, but you need to pick up in CSB course. Okay, what is the interface? So if you look at the coding pad, you may sometimes see this. Okay, let's look at an example. So here you may do array list of integer, array list equals new array list of integer. Okay, sometimes you may in the array list, I'm sorry, in the coding pad, you may see something like this. Instead of putting the same name, you put the list instead of array list. This is okay. Okay, let's actually try another one. You can also use a list of integer. Okay. So what I want to say is list is a superclass, while array list is one kind of list. It's a list made of array. While a linked list is a list made of linked node. But both of them are list. So right side, you use a linked list object assigned to list reference. That actually is fine. Is that okay so far?
Yeah.
So when you see the coding pad, you may see they want you to return a list type. But if you return an array list, it's actually also okay. They still allow it because this actually is a super type of array list. Okay. Okay, so this one I just give you the short idea of what this type is. But this by itself is an interface. So interface means that you do have this collection, but you cannot do this, you cannot do this, you cannot do this. This is illegal because no this class is no such class exists. You cannot use a list constructor. There's no such constructor. This is wrong. You do have array list. This one is concrete class. Concrete class. Concrete class means that you can build an array list. Concrete class you can build a linked list. But there is no concrete class for list. It's only conceptual. That we call it interface. So this is not okay. Okay? Anyway, this is some side talk. Not really what we want to cover in this chapter. Okay, but just to let you know what is what when you created the array list, you may have this list to use. There's another situation. You may see someone do Is this okay? I forget the type variable. Is this okay?
Uh, no.
How about Harrison? Is that okay? Harrison, hear me? Is this okay? Harrison, I did not hear you. You tried to say something, but I did not hear you. How about Jen?
It's not okay.
No is okay. It actually is okay. So you need to keep in mind this is actually okay. It is okay because it actually the same as this. It is okay. It is okay because when I actually compile it, there's no error. Actually, when I actually type it, you don't see the highlight to show it as error. So it's actually okay. But this one is the same as you have the object. Harrison, I still cannot hear you, okay? Your microphone or something is wrong. Anyway, I do see your microphone blink a little bit, but I do not hear anything, okay? Anyway, this one is already some object type. This one we call it, no, not the top one. The top one. Top one we call it row ArrayList. Okay, row ArrayList. Now, you declare something ArrayList of object type or no data type. I say it's okay, but who will be added to there? Then let's try this. Okay, let's try this. Can we do this? Can we do array? Let's do list that add one, list that add ABC, list that add 3.4. System dot out the following line list. Can this work? Yeah, the answer is yes. It actually is okay. But even that you told me is actually homogeneous. How come so you can mix the data type there? I say it's homogeneous, yeah. Already is homogeneous, it's actually need to put the same type into there. But how comes I mix the one A, B, C, and 3.4? It actually work for this array object or array of no data type. Instant, why?
Because you didn't pass in like a data type, so it's just any.
No. I say I didn't pass any data type, so it's considered to be the object type.
Yeah.
And then
And so that accepts any data type?
kind of, yeah. Why?
Because all of the data types you pass are objects.
Yeah, because we talk about object is the grandpa of everybody. So your string is the object type. Your integer is also object type. I say if you don't extend it, you will actually get the object type. So your double is also object type. So basically, you can put any of the object type, subtype of subclasses of the object type input into the same container of object type. And it will still work. So this is kind of a little bit like the list of the Python type. Okay, Python's list is more like this. Okay, any question? But there are some limitation. Okay, we'll talk about limitation later when we actually do CSP course. There are certain limitation. Okay, but here you just remember that this is legal. If you forget it is legal, it actually can be added for any data into the, we call it raw arrays. Raw is uncooked, unprocessed food called raw, right? Unprocessed. Okay, unprocessed food, we call it raw. So it's a raw arrays, raw fish. So basically here, actually it's okay to put it over here, okay? So right here, we go into the idea of having the super type, okay? Having no data type, okay? These are all legal. But when you use it at this moment, still be careful if you are not sure of what they are, okay? If you are not sure of what they are. Now, this one, let's do, let's continue the slices. Okay, so we talk about the list, and this is the interface. That means it actually is not a concrete class. You cannot create a list constructor. There is no such thing as list constructor. So you have to use array list, linked list, vector, or stack. Okay, so these linked list, vector, and stack, these are CSP material. Okay, but we don't talk about it. At this moment, we only focus on array list. So then we need to know about the list. So no matter it's the list, is array list or linked list, they all have the list interface. That means it allows the duplication of the data, it maintains the order, it can store null pointer, it is resizable. So basically you can put one null, two null, null three. You can put a few of the null there. So when you have the array list, you may have a one and a null, and followed by two, and then another null, okay? So you can have an empty object in the list. So when you traverse through a list, you must always check if the object is null or not. Sometimes it's null, then you will have the null pointer exception. You will be in big trouble. Okay, you will go into big trouble. And maintain the data in the insertion order. Okay, whoever comes first, go to the beginning part. Of course, you can insert at the arbitrary location by index as well, okay? But all of the lists share the common property. Linked list, array list is the same, just they have a different implementation method, okay? So like this one, you actually add A, and then you add B, okay, and then you add 3 with D, you become like this. Okay, next one is add all. Add all is combining two lists together. Okay, that's called add all. Let's look at the add all function. Now I'm going to, okay, so far we actually add one by one. Let's actually create another one. Let's call it actually array list or integer. Here, let me call it p list, okay? Now, here you have a constructor. I want to put data into there just like I do integer array A equals 1, 2, 3. Can I load the data directly to the array instead of using 888? May I do that? Yes, you can. But here, inside the function, you need to pass another. You need to pass another list over there. Right here, inside the function, the parameter, you need to pass another. So you cannot put an array there. So when you have the array, so let's assume that you do have an array. So do new integer array. Let's use a capital. Since you need an object. So you do put your 1, 2, 3 there. This is an array, but you cannot pass this array to the array list. You cannot. So you have to use arrays that as list. As list means that that array will be converted to a list and then loaded to the P list. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So let's assume that here we do have a static integer array x equals 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, right here, we create an array list of integer z list equals new array list of integer. We say that here you do have array, but you cannot pass the array to the array list. You cannot. So you have to convert it to a list. Okay, that's loading a bunch of data into arrays. How you do it? Okay. Now that's actually one way. There's another way. For example, if you already have a P list, can you clone another one? Yeah, you can clone another one. You can do array list of integer. Q list equals new array list of integer. And then right here, you actually put the P list in there. P list itself is a list. So there is no need to convert it to list. It already is a list. There's no need to use array as list. Then you can convert it to later. So right here, I'm talking about how to create a array list of data using loading way, loading by list, loading by array, loading by adding functions. Any questions so far?
No.
No. Let's think about another problem. Let's actually have the integer a equals new integer. Then integer b equals new integer. Integer 30. Okay. Now I do have a array list of integer. A list equals new array list of integer. And then arrays as list. Oh, okay, here is one a little bit too long. That's actually bend it down. So I loaded ABC to there, it created a K list. Now this one I copy for it. And then this one I put it as M list. So when I print them, what do I get? I get a cent because you have a list. This one actually is going to the object A, this one's going to the object B, this one's on the object C. This is K list. While your M list is similar, it also linked to the same ABC. It is sharing the object, but two array list. Is that okay so far?
Yeah.
Now, if I actually change this, if I say K list plus set 2, okay, it's original 30, but I change it to 2. Then I look at K and M. So K being changed, no problem. Will M be changed or not? M is not changed because you have actually you link to A, B, C is a K list. Your M list is right here. It also link to A, B, C. But now, your set function set this one to a new object 3. So M still see the C. Unless C got replaced. Otherwise, M will not see. But since integer is immutable, so you cannot change C. If it's a mutable object, then it will get changed. Is that okay? So when you do mutable or non-mutable, essentially sometimes it will affecting your result. Be careful, okay? Anyway, right here, just to tell you, it's possible that two lists are sharing the object. But when one of them change, you will change the reference. It doesn't change the object itself. You can change the object itself using the set function of the integer. But integer so far has no set function, so you are safe. Okay? Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, so this one is basic operators. Let's continue, okay? Let's continue. So as you can see, ArrayList is more complicated. Oh, we forget the add all. Let's talk about add all. So now we do have a this ABC in the K list. Now, we want to put a M to be after ABC. Is that okay? Yes, you can do that. You can do K list, but add all M list. So let's print out K list. Let's also print out the M list. So K list right now is 10, 20. Okay, actually it's linking. It's actually linked to A, B, and then the third one is right now is 3. And then M is actually linked with A, B, and C. So it's a 10, 20, 30. So the result for the K list will be this. Okay. So this is K list and M list is sharing a lot of object. That's actually okay. No problem. Okay. Any question?
No.
Okay, so that's add all. There's also remove all. Remove all means that checking every single element in the list, and you remove the smaller listed element from the bigger ones. Okay. Okay, so that actually is the basic feature for array list. Let's go through the slices. So array list is recessible. They do have an index 0, but one thing you need to be careful is you do have a 1, 2, 3. Normally, your index is 0, 1, 2 for your set function, for your remove function, for your any function is actually 0, 1, 2. Only insert or add, you have 0, 1, 2, 3. You have one extra index when you do add. Is that okay? That's the only thing you need to be careful. Only the add function has one more insertion location. Okay, this one sometimes we call it angle brackets. Okay, angle curly brace bracket. This we sometimes we call it angle bracket or less than greater. Okay, this we cover already. So this different function add with index clearly. Now we will cover the contents. Index of is empty. Last index of size. Okay, remove and set, we cover it already. Now next one we'll talk about size. The size is similar to length in the string. So it's a function that you return how long the radius is. So this one is pretty simple. We don't give you the example. Okay. Index of I think it's okay. Is empty is also okay. Last index also okay. Content also easy. But one thing I would like to talk about is the content and index function. Okay, let's talk about it. Here, only one very tricky part. So let's actually go back to our friend point class. Okay, let's complete the class real quick. So this is your new data type. You do have a two-string function, right? Now, let's create another one called test point. This one we will have a short break, okay? Okay, now we actually may create a pointer array. P list equal to new point 3, 4, new point 2, 5, new point -1, 7. Okay, so this is a let's don't call it P list, let's call it the P array. PARY. Okay. Now we load this one to array list. So array list of point P list equal new array list of point. Okay. And it's longer, so that's if you try another one. So arrays that's list of your PARY. Okay. Here you don't have a semicolon. It's inside the parameter function. Function of parameter of the function. So now you actually do clean out your P list. Okay, this is so far easy, not a problem. Okay, now I want to do integer IDX equals to P listed index of. Okay, I want to look at the 0.34 index. And I do green line the index. And I will get what? I'll get what? I'll get -1. Wait, I do have 3, 4 in there. How comes my index of these I get a -1? So this index of doesn't work? No, it works. But somehow it's tricky. Anyone know how to fix this problem? Anyone know what's going on? What is wrong here? The index of a function has no problem. Contains has no problem. It's not the index of causing the problem. Anyone know why it go wrong? How about Jiang? Why it go wrong? Why you intercept the 3, 4 point, but you cannot find? Hello? No idea?
I'm like analyzing the code. Analyzing the code still.
Anything wrong here?
No, it doesn't seem like so.
There's nothing wrong. Okay, syntax-wise, there's nothing wrong here. How about instead? Do you know where is wrong?
Can you what was the question?
What is index of supposed to find the index of 3, 4,
Hmm.
but it didn't.
Oh, because it's a different object. Like you can't compare the objects like that.
No, you can.
Oh,
This actually is legal. This is ArrayList function. It's actually legal. The key problem right here is actually this point class has no equals function. So with no equals function, what we say is that what will happen? Kingston, what will happen?
it's gonna like check the address.
Check the address. Well, when you check the address,
It's
new
different.
instance point 3, 4 is different from the other new point 3, 4. It's in two different objects. So this doesn't work. Now, apparently you need to write a equals function. Okay, so let's put an equals function. Is that okay?
Yeah.
No, it's not okay. You still have trouble. You still get -1. Why? Why is because I talk about this many times in the when we do the equals function, I talk about it, but when you do homework, you still make this mistake. I did not point it out. I did not say talk to you, but you have to be careful. When you do equals function, this one must be object type because you want to replace the object function in the defined in the object class. It's overwritten problem. So you have to do this. Okay, you have to do this object type. Then you will replace the object function. Okay, so this one, if you change it to this, you do this, I think this one so far should be fine. So far this way should be fine. Let me see, compile. Oh, object doesn't have the X, so no, then you do have if the other instance of point. Okay, there's a function called instance of. So if the object is instance of but not, that means that this object is not a point, then we will return false. Since you are not a point, you don't need to compare the 2 points. It actually makes no sense. Then we will convert the other point to point that equals point other, convert the other to that. And other is a point object, so you convert it to point other object. That pointer, the H is okay. So this one right here, now it's okay. Now it's actually got an index 0. So key point is this one must be object type if you want the index of function to work. Is that okay? Hello?
Yeah.
Let's try the other function contains. Okay, I try this different one, 2, 5. So this one, since we have the equal function, so right now this contain function should also be true. Okay, it is true. Now let me comment it out as well. Let's actually comment it out. Just pretending that we do not have a closed function. Then it doesn't work. Then you will go back to -1 and 4. Okay? So what I want to say is that you do have a class, but be careful. The equals function is very, 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 very important and must be object type. When you compare, it must be object type here. Otherwise, you won't replace the function from the object class. And then your index of will not work. Does that make sense? So these
Yeah.
are the key point for this contain function and that's index of function. Other than that, this 3 function is just the same as your string. No difference. Except that you need to be careful. This function need to compare the equals function for the object. And the object must provide new definition for the equals function. If you don't, or you have a wrong definition, then you are in big trouble. You will not be able to solve the problem for a long time. Okay? Next one is get. Get is very easy, but very easy to get error as well. Array, you use A3, but right here you must use A that get 3 is getter and setter. You cannot use array notation. It's not array, it's ArrayList. Okay? Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, this one okay. Let's actually continue. Let me browse through it a little bit faster now. So we do have this. We cover the basic functions. Creation of array, we show you already. Remove already. Get function, we talk about it already. This sometimes the notation is E means entity. So E by itself is a type variable. You can put any type in there. Okay, but usually it must be this type, no primitive data type. You cannot put an int or double or char to it. Okay. Raw data type is ArrayList with no type. And AP subset don't test it. Okay, but anyway, you need to know. Okay, so this table of the basic operation, you must remember creating the list, get index, set index, size, add an index, remove an index, remove an object, clear. This basic function, we just covered it already. Okay, this portion I think is okay. We just go through it. You can read it, not much difference. This part, okay. Okay, let's have a break. Come back on in 5 minutes. 9:35, okay? we will talk about a few examples to conclude this basic part for ArrayList. Okay, 5 minutes break. Hello. Hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have the basic array list. Now we are going to talk about the use of why we need an array list. So first one we'll talk about is the distinct number. Okay, what it is? For example, you may have array list of 1, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 5. Then if you, this is a list, but if you want to consolidate it to a set, only keep the data, only one copy, no duplicate. So you keep 1, keep 3, keep 4, keep 2, keep 5. So this is the non-distinct numbers. Okay, let's look at this, how to calculate this distinct number using array list. So this one is that to remove your duplication. Okay, remove the duplication from your array. So we are supposed to get a array and then return array. Okay. So that's actually get an array, return array. Okay, I use a capital array. Okay. So that's soon that you get an array of number that may have duplication. Okay, so here let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Integer array A equals 3, 7, 8, 4, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, 7, 8. Okay, let's assume that this is the data. Okay, so we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Okay, that's the one we may want to have. So you get this array and you actually would like to remove the duplication one. So you will create an array list. So at this moment, this one is empty. Okay. Okay, now, so you will do for each integer x from A, okay, you get that and you do calculate the index. So your index of the A list that index of x, initially it will be empty, right? Initially it will be empty. So you got an index. So if IDX equals -1, then your A list will add x. Okay, that's it. Then you need to convert this array list back to integer array. Okay, so let's do Okay. Right here, I create a B and then convert the A list to B. This one I just want to demonstrate how to convert a array list to an array. This is unnecessary. I can put this one as array list, and you return array list is still okay. Or you can use a for loop to create an array, the array. But here I just want to show you how to convert a array list to a same size array. Is that okay? Hear me?
Yeah.
Very, very tricky. Here you must put the parameter to here. This array body need to be here. Okay? But right here, you actually just use the for loop and then use index of. So that's why I told you the index of is very important. If you do not implement the equals function properly, you cannot figure out the distinct numbers. So every time you get a number, you calculate the index. If the index is not in the new list, you add it to there, add it to there, add it to there. Okay. So this one you will create the distinct numbers. So only the non-repeating one being kept. Okay, then you will get 3, 7, 8, 4, 1, 2. Any questions so far? That's the first use of the array list to filter out duplications. Keep only the non-repeating one. Okay. Next one, let's actually look at the maximum clump. Encoding bed is a problem. Encoding bed is a problem. They do have a string. Okay, let's just do this. So you want to find out which is the logical wrong. Right? You want to find out who is the wrong, logical wrong. Right here, it should be F. Or the coding bed may ask you how many of the clump, the wrong actually is greater or equal to 2. Okay. Kirsten, remember this one?
Uh,
Do you remember this one?
yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So your
Yeah.
way of solving it is you check from index 1 to the last one, right?
Yeah.
Whenever there is a change, you actually reset your counter, right?
Yeah.
That's one way to solve it. But here we will represent another way to solve it using the array list. Okay.
Okay.
So we will return the longest clumps size. Okay, so right here, I'm going to create an array list of integer. Let's call it clumps. No, don't call it clumps, call it cuts. Okay, so beginning part, I will say cut that at 0. So the first cut I put in is a 0, that's here. Now I'm going to start to check here, starting to here, okay. So basically I'm going to check every single one of the cut. So I'm going to do for integer I equals 1, I less than. The last one is right here. This one is cut. The last one here is cut n. This one is H, I'm sorry, for come it didn't come out with color. Right here is H cut n, but we don't compare cut n because your J follow with nothing. So you need to check the last one is right here. Okay, the last one is right here. It's actually up to n minus 1. So this one is up to that's the length minus 1. Okay, and then I increase. So last one you are comparing the I minus 2 and I minus n minus 2 and n minus 1. Okay. So if I'm sorry. If S the factor at I not equal to it actually should be your cut is actually I minus 1. You are comparing your 0 and the 1. Okay. Your previous one, your current one. So let's see, the last one here, it actually is n minus 1. This one is n minus 2. So the last one is actually right here. Okay, so this one, no minus. Should be up to n minus 1. Okay. If there is a change, there is a cut. So you cut would add I. So let's assume that here, let's assume this is the first one is AB. This one is number 1. You compare number 1 and number 0. There's a difference. So there's a cut over here. Right? So you add every cut into there, but the last one, you will have to add one more cut there. Because the very last one is a J with compared with nothing, but this one we consider is another cut. Okay, so basically you add the first 0 and the last 2 of them. These are actually automatically added in. So we calculate the different cuts. So what we will get is after we doing this process, this cut information, this cut array, we get the what? Get here, 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 here. All of the information. So the difference of the two is the cut size. You can return cut, you can also back up No, here should be max. You can return the maximum value of the cut, or you can return the starting index of the cut. So you can report the length or the string content. Okay, up to you. Right here, I'm reporting the maximum long length. For this one, you do not need to reset anything. You just looking at the cut location, compare the cut size. After class, you must rewrite it by yourself, okay? This one, we actually just give you an example. You must learn what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay? Any questions so far?
No.
No.
This is one application to find the maximum clump using this array list. We do not use any reset of the variable. We do not go out of the loop to do anything else. Everything included is set that you add the 0 and the length at the beginning and end, and then compare the difference of the cut locations. Similar things that you can do split function. Let's do split function and we will conclude the class today. So last time we do have a split function in the homework. And I say they are way you can handle the split. You can do scanner to handle the split. You can use a split function to split, right? You can also use the way that other students use, checking the space location to split. So right here, we are going to split a string into an array list, okay? You can convert to array, as I show you. But right here, I use array list, okay, just for convenience. So again, you actually create the cut. Okay, you got a string and you actually create the cuts. Now this time the string is different. Let's actually have a string static string s equals a b c d e f g g g h I j k k k. We will split this into 5 words. Okay, now you can still use the for loop to compare the change or the location of the spaces. That's one way you can do it. But now we would actually remember all of the spaces. Same thing right here. You got the cuts, so you actually created the first cut. You say the cuts that at 0. At the very end, your cuts will still add as the length. Okay, so these two are the same. And then you go into, no, this one is not adding 0. Let's add the -1. Because we are supposed to have a space in the -1, not 0. 0 is 8, okay. So the very last one is actually n is also a space. Is that okay? So this cuts, okay, let's actually change the name. Don't use cut, let's use the spaces. It's not really a cut, it's actually the spaces. So you have a space at the -1 location. You have a space at the n location. Okay, now let's actually do this for integer I equals 0, I less than the start length, I increase. If as the character I equals a space later, then spaces would add I into there. So you have all of the location of the spaces. And your word is actually in between two spaces. Let's assume this is actually space 1 and space 2. So your substring should be from, let's assume this number is m, this is n. It should be m plus 1 to n will be your string, substring that you want to have, okay? So basically for integer I equals 0, I less than spaces that size -1, I increase, okay? So you will have integer m equals spaces that get I, okay, n equals spaces that get I plus 1, okay? And then let's actually create another one. Let's create a array list of string and then tokens equals new array list of string and your tokens for to token equals to as the substring of m plus 1 and n. I'm sorry. Tokens adding, not equals. It should be adding that one in. Okay, I'm sorry. And at the end, you will return your tokens. Okay, now this is a little bit, there are some problem, okay, but we will fix it pretty soon, okay? There's some problem, I'll show you the problem, but we'll fix it right away. Don't worry, okay? So your system, let's do string. Oh, no, just print it out, okay? System, you can convert it to array, but we don't want to do that, the extra effort. So here the split this, and you convert it to an array list of strings. Okay, now the problem is that extra spaces will still be created with empty words. Okay, that's because you have a space, and some of them may have 2 space, 3 space, or more spaces. Then that's wrong. So what you can do right here is that you get in this this string. Let's actually do some massage here. Okay, so let's do string P equals list dot trim. Where you add T in if only T the length not equal 0. You actually all of the empty spaces being trimmed out, and you will not add that into your tokens. So by doing that, you will be able to get rid of the extra spaces strings. You would end up with only 5 tokens, even though these have extra space right there. So this is the use of ArrayList to split a string. If you do not like the split function, or you do not like the scanner function. And we use this cut and spaces just to give you the idea of how to quickly using ArrayList to generate the cuts or generate the tokens by splitting the strings. It is safer than you update your counter every time. Is that okay? Hello, is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one very critical. This is split function implementation of split function. So right now we already teach you 3 ways to split. Using the split, that's one way. Second, using scanner has next while loop. Third way is using this detection of the spaces, using the ArrayList to submit. Okay, we wait for here. We don't want to. There's another version you use array, but that array one you have to check every cut location and then see if there's a change. If there is a change, you update the new string. But end up it still will generate another tuple, another empty spaces, but still not what you want. So that method is okay, but very tedious. Instead of introducing that way, we actually will teach you using the ArrayList to solve a problem. Okay, so the day up to here, okay, we introduce 3 ways to use the ArrayList. One is to consolidate a list of duplication into a single value list. Second is you actually use the concept of cut to find out longest cut, length of the longest cut. You can also find out where is the longest cut. Okay, here I'm just giving you the longest cut size. Then you actually use it for split function. Okay, these are 3 examples of using ArrayList. Next time we'll discuss more. Okay. Okay, if no question, we are out of time. Good night then. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.